One, and I think we're live on YouTube right now. So, hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. This webinar is part of the annual series of webinars from EduCast International. I think this is the fifth webinar. If you attended any of our previous ones, could you please drop in the chat box what sessions have you attended so far in this series of webinar? We had Antoine Mark, who talked about role plays and business games in the classroom. We also had Dr. Ron Rain, who talked about um, teacher identity. We also had Fatma Ali, who talked about overcoming stress and burnout. So we had lots of sessions. Okay. So everyone, if you can see the screen clearly, if you hear me clearly, could you please drop something in the chat box? Okay, very good. So hello everyone again, and today we're gonna talk about language for life, preparing students for a globalized world. That's me, Mohammad Nabil. I'm the founder of EduCast International, and I'm the author of the book Integrating Life Skills in English Language Teaching. So this webinar will be about going through the book and what is included with lots of wonderful information about it. Okay. So by the end of this presentation, you will get a 20% discount on my book, Integrating Life Skills in English Language Teaching. So before we start, let me tell you a little bit about myself, but with my own way. Yes, I'm a teacher trainer, I'm a podcaster, I'm a conference organizer, and as I mentioned earlier, I'm the founder of EduCast International. So, well, that's me. I'm Mohammad. So mindful, optimistic, honest, always helpful, motivated, energetic, and determined. So that's me. So as you can see, I used each letter of my name to start with an adjective or something that might tell you about me. I'm afraid that I'm thinking, yeah. Oh, can you still see the screen, guys? Can you still see the screen? Can you please drop it in the chat box? I don't know what's happened. Technical issues always happen. Okay, very good. So is my voice lacking or breaking or something? Okay, it's okay. Very good. Okay, so this type of poems is called acrostics. So in this type of poems, you use the names, or sorry, the letters of the name you're using, and then start with this letter a new word that describes something about you, maybe. So I'd like to ask you to try it yourself in the chat box. Just use your names and try to start with each letter a new word that tell each other about yourself. So I'm going to give you a minute for doing this. So I'm looking at the chat box, waiting for some contributions. Okay, well, I think you can try it in at any time later. So here I use my letters or the letters of my name to tell you about myself with this type of poems or this way. Very good. So I think we're good to go now, and let's get it started. Um, so I'd like to start this presentation with this problem. And here we have a boy or a person, and his name is Ali. So Ali speaks English like a native. Okay, he aces exams, he's very good at them, and reads English books like crazy, but getting a good job, tough luck. So what do you think the problem with Ali? What do you think of this problem? What problem is he facing? He's very good at language, English language, at the English language, but he is not lucky enough to get a good job. So what is his problem? What does he lack here? Any ideas? Oh, he can't express himself very well. I'm afraid not. He can express himself very well because he has good communication skills. But do you think the problem is with his communication skills? Does he have any other problems? Speaking, I believe. Okay. Any other ideas? As a skill, you mean that he has a problem in convincing others with his potentials, with himself? Well, this might be a very big problem, actually. But let me tell you that Ali's problem is not in communication skills. He has very good communication skills. Ali's problem is with soft skills. So he's an introvert. This might be a very, yes, good answer. So the problem here is great English, but no job luck. So Ali speaks English like a native. He's very good at exams. He reads books like crazy, but he doesn't get a good job. Why? Because he's missing soft skills. He's missing life skills. You know, things like teamwork, confidence, he cannot convince others with himself. And, understanding the office culture. And, he's afraid when it comes to interviews. So, all of his strength points just vanish when he's in an interview. And working with others makes him very nervous. And this leads us to the word introvert. He might be an introvert. So he's stuck. Companies, yes, need his communication skills, but also soft skills are needed, because if he lacks, the soft skills, if he lacks the basic skills he needs to excel in the workplace, you know, he's always frustrated, and this affects his confidence very badly, and of course his motivation. Okay, but of course there is some kind of hope because he can get some training in teamwork, communication, culture awareness, and of course this will help him, unlock his potential. Okay, so yes, Ali is not alone. Ali might be one of us. So we all have good language skills. We might be very good at English. But when it comes to interviews, we face the worst nightmares. Exactly. Soft skills are crucial. Okay. So educators and employers should be focusing on this, on soft skills. Yes, we can focus on communication skills, but we need also to draw the same focus on the importance of soft skills. So this story shows the importance of both skills in today's world and encourages a more holistic approach to language learning. So in today's session, I'm talking about, of course, soft skills or life skills. So in this presentation, I'm talking about what are life skills? Why should we integrate life skills in English language teaching? How to integrate life skills and challenges and solutions, and some final thoughts on the presentation. So let's start first with the definition of life skills. So what are life skills? Does anyone have any idea? What are life skills? Okay. So actually, soft skills, they are the practical abilities and competencies that individuals need in order to effectively maneuver around the ups and downs of everyday life. Things aren't always good. Sometimes things can get really worse or really bad. So yes, we should have this kind of ability that will enable us to, cope up with everything that happens in our everyday life. But what are these skills? Do we have types of these skills? Yeah, let me break down some key life skills that are particularly relevant to English language teaching. Yes, maybe a team player, for example. So the first life skills I'm going to talk about is critical thinking, and it's the ability to analyze information, evaluate the arguments, and make decisions, good decisions. In the workplace, sometimes we need to be quick in making decisions and choose the right options to do or to make, to help us, move forward in our work. So critical thinking is really important for English language learners, to go beyond memorization. We don't want our learners to just memorize the information we teach them in the classroom. We need them to go beyond this. And this will, develop a deeper understanding of the language structures and use. The second one is problem solving. We all face problems in our jobs, right? So yes, that's a basic life skill, and we need to be able to solve the problems, in just seconds. So problem solving is just the skill of identifying the challenges. So it's not only finding a solution to the problem, but also, diagnosing the problem first, thinking about good solutions, and then trying to implement them. So problem solving is really important for English language learners, to help them navigate the language barriers they face in every day in the classroom. And of course, to find creative ways to express themselves, whatever the context is. Yes, to face and don't escape from the problem when it happens. Very good. Great. The third one is communication, and you all mentioned this at the beginning of this presentation. Communication is really important because it's the ability to convey the information, ideas, emotions effectively, through verbal and nonverbal means. So, what does this have to do with English language teaching? Students communicate in the classroom in every second, right? With their peers and with the teacher. So, yeah, that's right. So, communication focuses on developing language proficiency in speaking, but not only in speaking, it can also be in listening, reading, and writing. And this emphasizes, you know, clear and coherent expression. Okay. Number four comes collaboration. As you can see, two hands are helping each other. Yeah, so we need to collaborate, we need to work together, we need to help each other in the workplace. Oh, yeah, that's right. Communication should be in a good manner. Excellent job. Very good. Okay, so working effectively in the workplace with others, towards a shared and common goal, this helps a lot to, achieve the targets in the job, right? So when it comes to the classroom, yes, our learners need to learn how to work together. Why? Because you know, just one hand cannot achieve the goal, right? So we need to work together. We need to give a hand to each other. So we need to teach our learners how to work in groups, to work in pairs, to work on particular projects. Because this promotes collaborative language learning activities, and this encourages them to communicate and cooperate in English, right? Yes, number five is creativity. And as you can see, it's like, getting ideas or, yeah, things that are outside the box. So creativity is really important in life, not only in the classroom, but, in daily life situations. And it's the skill of thinking imaginatively and generating innovative ideas. Okay. And this encourages our learners to use the language creatively in many situations. And this fosters a more deep or a deeper connection with the language and allows for, diverse expressions. So yes, students can know the language, but they need to be creative in order to, you know, um, yeah, offer great solutions in every situation. So I'm going to tell you all about how to incorporate this in the classroom, of course, but later on in this presentation. The skill number six is adaptability. Yes, the world has become a very difficult place, and you need to be flexible, you need to be adaptable, you need to adapt to the changing environment that we face every day. We have to adjust to the new circumstances and challenges flexibly. So, what does this have to do with our learners and the classroom and English language teaching? Well, if we train our students on becoming adaptable, this prepares them to navigate the diverse linguistic and cultural contexts. And, it helps them with a more resilient language use. Okay, students need to be adaptable, need to adapt to the different situations in the classroom also, and the way they use the language. Skill number seven is decision making, and we already talked about it, right? So it's the process of making choices based on careful consideration of options. Okay. So this helps the learners to make language related decisions, like, choosing this word with that word because it gives a deeper meaning. It's stronger, right? It helps in communicating with others more effectively. Okay. It's not only about choosing vocabulary, it's also about choosing language structures and expressions in different communicative situations. The last life skill here is emotional intelligence, and it's about the ability to recognize, understand, and manage one's own emotions and empathize with others. In other words, the ability to put ourselves in other people's shoes, and of course, not literally. Okay, so what does this have to do with English language teaching and our experience in the classroom? It helps effective, or it helps for more effective communication opportunities by encouraging the learners to be aware of and responsive to the emotions expressed in language. It also helps the learners to respect each other, to respect diversity, to respect their differences when it comes to the language preferences, language interests, learning styles, different religion or religious beliefs, different races, all of this. So yes, we're all equal. and we need to feel how other people, feel, or, try to put ourselves in other people's shoes. So these life skills form a comprehensive framework for, developing English language learning and moving, beyond linguistic competence to help the learners equip or gain practical abilities necessary for success in both language use and real life situation. And we need to integrate these skills in English language teaching, you know, because we need to provide our learners with the best learning experience ever. And also we need to prepare them for the job markets. So that was about what life skills are. So why life skills? Why should we integrate them in English language teaching? So I believe it's the most important skill is to be able to adapt. Yeah, that's right. The teacher is a therapist by force. Yeah, of course, yes. So why should we integrate the previous life skills in English language teaching? Any ideas? I think there are many reasons we should do this. So the benefits are a lot, but when we think about this, we should think about two things. We should think about the learners, and we also should think about the teachers. For the learners, integrating life skills in English language teaching helps for a better communication and social skills for the learners. Because when we train our learners on life skills, we help them with, improving their ability to communicate effectively, work collaboratively with their peers, and navigate social situations confidently. Imagine that you have good communication skills and good life skills at the same time. You'll be so much confident in every situation. And this prepares the learners for real world interactions and increases their chances of success in various settings, not just the academic ones. So we're not only talking about excelling in the exam, we're also talking about excelling in life in general. Also, I told you before that we have to prepare the learners for the job market, for what's after the university. So it helps with improved employability. Employers, yes, they seek good communication candidates with good communication skills, but they also tend to hire people with good communication and life skills at the same time because they search for people who are good at critical thinking, problem solving, and they can adapt to the different situations, right? And by integrating these skills in English language teaching, learners can develop, the basic skills, the required skills that makes them attractive candidates in the job markets. Number three, integrating life skills in English language teaching helps the learners gain more self-confidence and motivation. Imagine that you have all what it needs to excel in life, to excel, sorry, in the job you would like to have in the future. So yes, you'll be motivated, self-motivated, and self-confident, right? So integrating the essential life skills in English language teaching can help the learners, boost confidence and make them more motivated to keep pursuing the goals and even finding new goals so that they can achieve them. And this can lead to better engagement in the learning process, um, and of course helps them later on when they try to apply for jobs. And of course, we're trying to prepare the learners to become global citizens. So we're talking here about the concept of globalization, the concept that the world has become a small village. Our learners should understand every single culture. They need to be global, not just local citizens. So integrating life skills helps the learners to get prepared for global citizenship. because life skills like cultural awareness, empathy, and conflict resolution are crucial for navigating the interconnected world. So you can, communicate with anyone around the world in just a second because of the technology advancements and AI and all of this stuff, right? So integrating life skills in English language teaching helps prepare the learners to be responsible and active citizens who can contribute positively to their communities. Okay, that was about the learners. What about teachers? Why should we integrate life skills in English language teaching? What is in it for teachers? Well, it helps the learners, get the opportunity for more engaging and relevant lessons. We're talking about daily life situations. So if we try to integrate life skills in English language teaching, so things will be so much relevant to what's going on outside in the world. Also, we're talking about holistic development of learners. It helps the teachers develop the learners and go beyond, their traditional language learning methods. So teachers can contribute to the development of their learners and prepare them for success in all aspects of their lives. Okay. The bond would be great with the students, of course, yes, because it's relevant to their life. Great. Reason number three is allowing the teachers to get differentiation opportunities. We all know that we deal with learners with different learning styles, different interests, and different preferences. So yes, if you integrate life skills in English language teaching, you will have so many options to use in the classroom and adapt and cater your instruction to the different learning styles, interests, and preferences. Okay, because if you try to train all the learners on the same skills, of course, you will use different activities, different things to help all the learners to excel in their lives. Also, it helps the teachers to stay updated with the current trends and the latest trends in English language teaching because life is constantly changing, and so as the new things, and we need to train the learners on being adaptable, on being flexible, on being a better critical thinkers, decision makers, problem solvers, all of these things, and of course, more creative will help the learners to excel in the classroom and outside the classroom. So, integrating these life skills in English language teaching um, creates a more relevant learning experiences for the students, and this prepares them for success in the workplace as global citizens and in their personal lives. And this leads us to the next part about how to integrate this. So, yes, that was very theoretical, I know. So, how to do this practically, how to integrate life skills in English language teaching. And I'm going to share with you some activities you can do in the classroom in order to promote the students' life skills, just like communication skills. So, you have to use a variety of activities in this. You don't need to be monotonous. In otherwise, you will lose the students' interest and motivation. So the first thing is that you can use role plays and simulations in the classroom. As you can, assign learners different roles. Okay, so everyone has a role to play in scenarios relevant to what really happens outside the classroom in real life, right? And this helps develop communication, collaboration, and decision making skills. Okay. For example, let's think of a simulation for a job interview where learners take turns playing the role of the interviewer and interviewee, and this fosters an effective or fosters effective communication and critical thinking. And I tried this myself very long time ago with grade 4 and 5 students. I still remember this example when I had the role of um, a restaurant manager, and I was looking for chefs, chefs, and the students played the role of chefs who would like to apply for this job, and they needed to convince me with their potential and also some recipes of delicious pizzas. So that was really fun. Okay. You can also use debates and discussions, on thought-provoking topics, not just, on ordinary topics. No, things like what's happening in Gaza or Palestine these days. Things like, global warming, things like, the most important topics these days. This will help you engage the learners more and involve them in the learning and teaching process. And this enhances critical thinking, communication, and the ability to consider diverse perspectives because you listen to different views from different people, from different perspectives, right? And to do something like that, you can engage the learners in a debate about, for example, Palestine, and ask them to find reasons why they think this way or that way, right? And you can also use topics that have advantages and disadvantages, and ask them to find reasons why they think that this is good or that is bad, and help them argue together, or against each other, of course, in a respectful way. Um, Number three, you can use project-based learning. And when I say project-based learning, we're talking about designing projects that require collaboration, asking the learners to work together. And this is one of the life skills necessary, right, for the learners. This helps them gain research skills, right? And of course, they can apply sorry, apply the knowledge they learn in these projects. So this fosters collaboration, creativity, and problem-solving skills. So we can ask the learners, for example, to do a project to help their communities, maybe by cleaning places because of pollution everywhere, right? So ask them to plan and of course brainstorm ideas, plan, and then execute. Then do the project, and of course reflect on their contributions. Think about what happened, what went well, and what didn't go well, and how they should or they can improve this later if they do it again. You can also use problem solving activities, as you can see in the picture. Students are trying to solve a problem, maybe. So maybe you can present real world problems for learners to solve individually or in groups, okay, because we need to use different interaction patterns. And this will help definitely develop the students' critical thinking skills, decision making skills, and problem solving skills at the same time. Okay, you can provide the learners with a challenge, and then ask them to think critically and use the language creatively to solve this challenge or overcome it. You can also implement collaborative writing projects. You can have the learners collaborate on some pieces of writing as a project, such as creating a story, maybe, or designing a brochure. So this helps to enhance collaboration, communication, and creativity. So the learners here will, uh, will have to write a story, for example, and collaborate together to develop the story and the incidents that happen in the story, create characters, and of course, they will use the best in their language to express the situations or the incidents of the story. Um, Also, you can use reflection and journals or journaling. You can implement this or integrate this in your lessons because this cultivates in the learner's life awareness or self-awareness, metacognition, and emotional intelligence. So after, for example, a communicative activity, you can ask the learners to reflect on their language choices, collaboration experiences, and emotional responses. Okay. The activity number, as I guess, number seven. I can't remember well. I didn't count. So you can provide the learners with more opportunities for cultural exchange. You can ask another teacher from another country to plan or schedule a meeting with his learners and ask the learners to talk to the teacher or the other students in the other class and to change, the different cultures. And this will help to develop intercultural communication, empathy, and adaptability. Okay. So the thing here is about asking the learners to interact, sorry, for other learners with different cultural backgrounds. Okay. Um, just a second, please. So you can also use interactive multimedia tasks. That's number eight. And you can use or integrate multimedia resources for interactive language tasks. And this enhances the students' digital literacy skills, critical thinking, and also language skills. You can have the learners analyze and create content using online platforms like social media, for example. They use social media platforms on a daily basis, and this fosters digital literacy and effective communication, not only face to face but also online. Also, you can use decision making games, and this is very important. You can introduce games that involve decision making and strategy. This helps to develop the students' decision making skills, strategic thinking, and critical thinking, and also adaptability, being adaptable to the different situations in order to make the best decisions. Okay, so in this you can use language learning apps that stimulate decision-making scenarios where learners choose responses and face consequences, promoting language use in practical context. And this is not or this doesn't only depend on platforms or applications. You can also use AI to create, for example, um, uh, reading texts or stories that are really interactive. And I remember doing this once by asking ChatGPT to create an interactive reading text or an interactive story. And it kept asking me about whether, for example, I'm in a forest and I saw something. So what to do? Do I run away or do I face this challenge? So the rest of the story will depend on your answer. This is something really good. It helps the learners, you know, to make better decisions, right? And number 10, you can use community engagement project. Just like what I shared with you a couple of moments before, we're talking about asking the learners to collaborate on cleaning projects to help their communities, maybe helping the poor, maybe doing any useful thing. And we need to connect this to our lessons in the classroom. And the objective here is to develop communication, collaboration, and social responsibility. Okay. As an example, you can have the learners create and implement language workshops for community members. They can teach the other members of the community the language, right? And this combines language practice with community service. That would be a very good idea. So these are very learner-centered strategies. Not only that can they can't only enhance language proficiency, but also cultivate the essential life skills in the learners. So by integrating these examples and these activities into various lesson types, you can create an engaging and a more dynamic learning environment for the learners that prepares them for success in both language use and real life scenarios, or in communication skills, or help develop communication skills and also life skills. Um, so is it that easy? Do we have any challenges? So, of course not. It's not that easy because we also, as teachers, we need to be adaptable. We need to deal with the different situations or the different obstacles that might come up. We also need to anticipate the problems that might happen. But what are these challenges in implementing such activities, such strategies, or integrate the integration of life skills in English language teaching? Well, yes, it the integration of life skills in English language teaching in the classroom is really beneficial. But sometimes you will have time constraints. You will have to you will think about your objectives and how to achieve them in the time that you have for a class. And also you think about integrating life skills. So there might be some kind of pressure to cover language content within a limited time frame. And this might not be enable you. It might not enable you to integrate life skills in your classes. So my solution here is to integrate life skills in what exists in the lessons. Okay, so don't try to add new activities or separate activities. Just choose tasks that address language and life skills that are related to the tasks or the lessons the students are learning. Teachers might lack training on this, on how to help the learners with life skills integration in English language teaching. And we can just provide training for them. We can provide professional development opportunities, and they should be focused on life skills integration. Sometimes it's difficult to assess the integration of life skills in English language teaching, because it can be subjective. The judgments will differ from a person to another, and it will be so much different from the traditional assessment methods for the language. So the point here, in order to overcome this issue, is to create some clear rubrics that outline specific criteria for assessing the students' life skills. Provide examples and training for evaluation. Tell the learners about how they are going to be assessed, how they're going to be evaluated. Okay, and consider a mix of formative and summative assessments, to capture ongoing progress in the classroom. Also, curriculum alignments. So sometimes you cannot integrate life skills with the curriculum goals. They are different, and the standards can be challenging. So try to collaborate with curriculum developers to align life skills integration with existing language learning objectives. Okay, so you should always find the link between what you should integrate with what's already in the books or in the curriculums. Sometimes teachers find no resources, limited resources for activities or There might be some lack or limited access to materials or technology that might hinder the implementation of life skills activities in the classroom. And, teachers here can depend on some, minimal resources like role playing, discussions, collaborative writing, things that don't require technology integration in the classroom. They can see community partnerships for access to additional resources. Another important challenge is the students' resistance. They don't want, right? They are not willing to learn this. And they might find this useless and they will start resisting you and they will start resisting activities that takes them away from just learning language to learning the necessary or the basic life skills. And here, as a teacher, you have to explain the purpose and the benefits of this integration, the benefits of life skill integration in English language teaching, and emphasize the real world relevance, how this is related to their own lives, how this might be helpful to prepare them to get better opportunities in the future, because this will definitely contribute to their personal and academic growth. Also, there might be some problems with classroom management because it's all about creating a more interactive and collaborative activities in the classroom. So, the more interactive and collaborative activities you use, the more classroom management problems you might face. And my solution here is to establish clear expectations for behavior. You should expect, okay? And you should also tell the learners about what is expected from them. So try to teach and model the activities, model effective communication and collaboration to the student, and gradually introduce to the students to the activities, scaffold if needed, use graded language, clear instructions, instruction checking questions, use differentiated instruction in order to cater to the students' different needs. Some topics might be sensitive, culturally sensitive, and some life skills might not, align with the cultural norms. And this might lead to resistance or discomfort. And here the solution is to prioritize the culturally sensitive topics and activities and provide options for the learners. You shouldn't always force them to learn what you want them to learn. Just give them the options to choose activities that align with their comfort levels and encourage discussion about cultural differences to promote understanding. And of course, not only for themselves, for other colleagues also. The limited inclusivity can be also a very big problem in this. You need, to make sure that they are inclusive. They address all the learners that you have in the classroom, all their needs, um, all their preferences, and all the different learning styles. So you can provide additional support, okay, or alternative tasks for learners who might require it. Um, the last challenge here with the resistance from stakeholders, from managers, from directors, from supervisors, or team leaders, parents also might have some questions on the value of wasting time on this. They might think that is a waste of time. So you need to do some research and share the results with them, share some success stories of the integration of life skills in the classroom, and highlight the positive impacts of life skills integration and share with them that it's really important for the learners to gain these skills in order to excel academically and personally. So, my final thoughts is that it's really important to incorporate life skills into English language teaching due to many reasons, and I think that we mentioned all of them in the presentation. So it's really important to notice that the importance of life skills for you as a teacher to have some kind of awareness of how important they are for the learners. And remember Ali's problem at the very beginning of this presentation. He couldn't get a good job, although he had um, very good communication skills. So always think of the importance of communication skills, but don't please forget about the importance of life skills. So that was my final thoughts. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you find it some kind of beneficial. And if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. And as I promised you, there will be 20% discount on my book, The Integration of Life Skills in English Language Teaching. Um, you can also follow me here by scanning this QR code. That's my account on my Facebook. Oh, yeah, on Facebook. So, do you have any questions? Thanks a lot. Everything has been quite eye-opening and fun. Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Rashid. Thank you. Any questions? Okay. So, again, thank you for joining me today. Life skills are for all the levels, of course, yes, and for all the classes, yes, yes, that's right. But again, you have to learn how to, try to change the activities, try to use what really suits your learners, what really suits their levels and their age, of course, and also their preferences and needs. If you're teaching medical English, of course, you know that um, everyone needs these skills, even if they are learning whatever they're learning. If they are learning English or they're learning a subject, helping them with what really would benefit them in the future, what will enhance their opportunities or improve their future. I think it's important. Yeah, I think you will need it, and I think your learners will need it too. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Ms. Knight. Thank you. Thanks everyone. So thanks everyone for joining me today. Um, and I'm looking forward to seeing you. Inshallah, today's Sunday, so we'll have another webinar with Miriam Monterreview next Tuesday. Inshallah, she will be talking about a very important topic. I'll be sharing the announcement on Facebook and the WhatsApp groups tomorrow, inshallah. So, everyone, thank you for listening and see you in another webinar.